Hello, everyone. Welcome to Knights of the Round Table. I'm Luca, and this is TJ. For tonight's edition, we're reviewing a 2017 Chinese animated movie called Animal Crackers.
Yes, on Netflix.
Yes, it is a film about a guy and his wife who use a box of magical animal crackers to save their family's circus from being taken over by their evil uncle.
Okay.
So, TJ, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Okay. So when I selected this movie, there was a fear of mine. I took a little risk here.
Mm-hmm.
I feared that this would be boring. Like this would just and frankly, in my opinion, it's not that. It's not. It's. I wasn't, mind you, I didn't come in with very high expectations, but I found it. But I found it surprisingly good. Not great, but good. You?
I think it's a fun family film. The characters have their own weird personalities, and the circus owner's nephew gets married to their daughter of a wealthy family. We get our fair share of family bondings.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Wait. All right. I found it. Anyways, I found it quite. First of all, just some of the things I didn't like. The music sticks out in this regard. I didn't much care. The music was bad.
Why?
Why? Well, mainly most. When I say they use a lot of pop songs, which those are okay. I liked. Don't Stop Me. They used Don't Stop Me Now, correct?
Yeah, Don't Stop Me Now, my Queen.
They used that. That was fun. But beyond that, kind of forgettable. But then there's the songs. Of the film, and there are only two of them, sang by Ian McKellen's character, Horatio, who is the main villain of the film. And those aren't too. And those are just bad. I don't know if it's just a translation from Chinese or what. But the visuals, we'll get into those later. Like, I found for those segments are good. Another thing is that I found some of the pacing to be a bit weird. Like, I found it mainly near the beginning. I found it kind of odd that we started with Owen is the main character. Mm-hmm. I thought it was weird that we started with Owen's uncles and
Uncle Bob.
So Uncle Bob and Natalia's. I thought it was weird. We started with their backstory. And then it just felt like a weird flow just to start with the origin of one love story, just to edit to another one right after. Like, I guess it established the cookies, but that I don't think they needed much. But I think that could just been integrated better.
I mean, it still would have been a consistent flow if they hadn't added in on the story of Uncle Bob and Horatio. They just started off with Owen and his wife.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, beyond that, I found. Beyond that, let's see here. I found some of the humor annoying. I want to get into that later. And there's just a few kitty moments, but I think that's just mainly from my perspective. This movie wasn't made for me. Oh, you? What's some things that niggled you?
Well, I like the comedy.
Yeah, I know. I like the comedy too. Like, I want to get into that more in that later, but okay. Here's my opinion on the comedy. Actually, I think the comedy is the strongest suit of the film. Like, I did not imagine it to be I didn't imagine it to be as funny as it was, to be honest. But a quarter of the film's jokes are a bit bad, a bit cringeworthy, but the other three quarters, those are quite good. Like, It's a very smirk-inducing movie, if that makes any sense. A lot of the comedy came from just the dialogue between characters. A lot of the comedy that came from the dialogue between characters I found to be quite nice and interesting, quite nice. And some of the slapstick worked for me, although that bit just didn't hook me as much.
Okay. Anyway, I think Horatio is a good movie villain because he's self-absorbed and vindictive. Like, we see his older self dwell in the past and attempt to take over the circus.
I thought he was okay. Like Ian McKellen does a good job voicing him, but I think Ian McKellen does a good job voicing him, and he does have a good amount of funny moments, but I think but I don't think he's too threatening till the end, and he just doesn't seem to be too. I also wish he had some depth. Like, he works for the film, and I don't want him to give him a fleshed out backstory, make him a real character. But still, okay, let me start that again. I think he's fine in the movie. Ian McKellen does a great job voice acting him, and he does have funny moments, but he's just a bit cliched for me. Speaking of which, I mentioned Ian McKellen, but also the voice acting and animation were also surprisingly good. Starting with the latter, this is a surprisingly good cast. Actual voice actors.
Yeah.
Like
John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Emily Blunt.
Yeah, they're awesome.
There's also another, and also, let's see. We also have Sylvester Stallone. Like,
yeah.
Usually with these types of movies, they have the celebrities posted all over the thing, and I don't know if this is just because it's on Netflix, but there really isn't that. So I found them to have a good job. This is also part of the movie based on pre-existing thing genre, i.e. the Lego movie, the Emoji movie, Playmobil's movies, etc. and the like. Would you say that?
I would say they have similar concepts, yes.
Well, yeah, that's their genre. Anyways, compared to those, I found Animal Crackers to be not as cynical. Like, well, for one, there's just the concept. Animal Crackers just way more broad than, say, emojis or, again, Playmobiles. But still, I found this movie to have a good heart. And also the animation. Like, it's not on the level of Pixar or Sony, but still, it does a good job. The colors and some of the movements are a little stilted, but the colors and character designs make up for that. Thoughts on that subject?
Yeah, it's great animation, and the movie isn't really cynical. Like, everyone's happy and having a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I find closest to cynical is the father of Owen's wife.
Yeah,
but they work it out.
Personally, I thought this movie was okay, but then we saw Brock, played by the marvelous. I need to look up his
Patrick
name.
Warburton.
Yes. Oh my, Brock makes this movie. It gives it a point just for having Brock. The sheer joy.
The art of sabotagery.
Yes, the sheer joy this man gets from causing people misery it's honestly what's inspiring. I love I said this was a very chuckle-worthy movie, but whenever he was on screen, I just laughed, mate. It was just great.
As cringy as he is, he still cracks me the hell up.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Yeah, exactly. He's so. Oh gosh, he just. Also, very much. Yeah. Also, going to the actual concept, they do a lot with the simple concept of person turns to a crack. Like, for a concept based around eating thing and turning to an animal, they do a lot of that. And they also, and it also doesn't, I won't go too into it, but there's lots of, they use it for a lot of cool action scenes. They do a fun thing at the end, which I won't get into. They explain well, and I found it to be fun. It's also surprisingly not that big of a part of the movie, which isn't bad, but I think it worked. Which isn't bad at all.
Is there anything that stood out to you?
Anything that stood out? Nothing really well, Brock. Brock. Brock just, but Brock deserves being named. But beyond that, I found beyond that nothing really stood out. But it worked. But it works. It's a good film. You said it was a good family film, and I agree. Like, I think, if anyone wants to see this film, if any of you are interested in seeing this film, if your family and especially kiddies, go on and watch it. Go on and watch it. There's also personally, I don't think I'm gonna watch it again. It's just it's just not made for me. But still, it worked. Do you want to get into spoilers?
Sure. What do you have, CJ?
Anyways, we mentioned one of the. Anyways, I found that. What'd you find the twist with the grandparents? How'd you find that?
Shocking.
And
I actually didn't see it coming.
I did. So I don't want to sound too bad, but they show their cookies in the beginning when they burn down the apartment. Oh gosh, how did we forget to mention Zucchini?
Oh
Zucchini
yeah.
also makes this movie.
Yes, Zucchini.
Zucchini is just, he is just, oh man, he is just insane. I love how he's honestly, I think he's, with all due respect, I think he's a better villain than Horatio, but he's just great. Zucchini and Brock, those two make the movie. But
The guy has more leadership than Horatio ever will.
he doesn't really have. He has more he has more showmanship. I don't think he's a very good leader.
Well, is Horatio a good leader?
I mean, he's an okay leader. He can command his circus quite well. He definitely has determination, even if that is arguably in the wrong place. And he's just quite. And in comparison to Zucchini, like he's just more. He just knows where he is more. With all due respect to the latter, Zucchini is a bit big for his britches, which sounds like a short people joke, but he just is. Like he's just there's some.
I think the film made a great decision by choosing the comedian Gilbert Gottfried to play the role.
Gilbert. Oh yeah, he does a good. Again, this is a surprisingly good cast. Anyways.
Yeah.
So
also, the Zucchini might be a reference to the Zucchini brothers from the Muppets, who are also circus performers.
Okay. Cool. I've not seen them, but I will take your word on that. Oh, anyways, I quite like. We mentioned that they did something creative at the end. So at the end, like when Horatio and his gang, because Zucchini included, doesn't talk too much at this section, but he makes his mark already. Like not spoil too much. I know we're in spoilers, but they get pieces of animal crackers, like say the head of a lion and such, and then they eat them and turn into these hybrids, which is just and that was just creative. Like there was a lot of nice callbacks, a lot of nice action. Again, the animation is just great. This is a good example of it, and it's just a creative and action-packed climax. Let's finish this up. So how would you rate this film?
I give it 9.5 out of 10 because it's exciting to watch, but it's nothing original. It's what you'd expect from any other family-friendly film.
I'd give it a 7. Like I would say it's okay, but for one, Brock, he just puts it up a point. So it's good. It gets a 7 out of 10 for me.
So without Brock, would be a 6 for you.
Yeah. I think it's
Ouch.
I think it's very. Anyways, it's a good film. Also, before we go off, Owen and Zoe, his wife.
Yes.
They had a very good chemistry. Like I found their conversations to be very. I like their banter between them. It was charming and funny.
Uh huh.
Anyways.
Almost like a
anything
star-crossed
else?
lover story because of the dad.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. Want to get to recommendations?
Recommendations? Yeah, I'd recommend. Like I would recommend it. It might be a little too kiddie for some for people our age, but for young children and families, yeah, I'd say go see it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it for small children and families too.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I myself would watch it again like a second time because I'm like into the animation and I like the animal transformations.
Yeah. All right. So, do you have any ideas for next week?
Yes. Going back to the animal topic, I want to watch the movie Lobster.
The Lobster?
Yeah, from 2016.
Sounds good.
Okay. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it, although I've been intending to.
Okay. Good.
All right. Thank you. Have you seen it?
Yeah, but back in 2016, so I need to rewatch it.
All right. Thank you, Luca. Next week I'll try to watch Lobster, and I hopefully will be on time.
Okay. Thank you
Alright.
for coming on.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.